Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for Sunday, September 5th, 2021, with your host, Peacemaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We are here with the Kentaros arc of Den-O, which... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this feels like the weakest of the three.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the back half of this batch.
Yeah, I kind of can see that. I get what they were going for with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of feel like this is the weakest of the three.
Yeah, for reference, folks, we are taking a look at Den-O episodes 9 through 12, and coincidentally enough, our second episode of our batch aired on April Fool's.
Well, it's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah. But any thoughts before we get into the episodes proper?
No.
All right, then. We shall kick off with episode 9, My Strength Has Made You Cry. So we pick up with Karate Man practicing under a bridge at night when a mysterious Imagin, that is actually not Kentaros, it's a different one, even though the shadow is supposed to make it look like it's it is him, attacks him and yeets him somewhere right into Ryutaro, who is bicycling nearby. Ryutaro gets up to spot a different person is being possessed by an Imagin and is currently doing the thing that happens to Ryutaro where they're in the driver's seat, the eyes are the different color, they got the little strand of the colored hair. And Momo's like, I want to fight him! And he throws a punch, and Kentaros catches it, then throws him in the grass, and he's just like, ha! My strength has made you cry. Here's a tissue. Goodbye. Because that's his shtick for some reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't either. That one kind of, initially, I was just like, I get that's his shtick, but it's like, why?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we see him later, like, throw some slaps at a pole and break it, and then he tries to fix it because Kentaros is too strong for his own good and keeps breaking things, and he tries to fix them. Not knowing how to fix things. Someone teach this man how to use power tools, please. It might not go well, but it's yeah. But we get back to the den liner. The crew discuss this whole situation. They try to figure out what's going on. So they decide to go talk to a reporter goon. So they head to Bimp Dipper. We do the two of them fawning over Ari, and I think they try to fawn over Hana. I think. I'll be honest, I blank out every time we have to do a scene focused on them.
Fair.
I'm just like, wait, you guys did things? I don't remember. I think I legitimately try to forget when you guys are in the show at this point. But the guy's like, oh, hey, there's these bunch of karate people who have been getting attacked from this one tournament last year. And it's strange. And so Ryutaro and Hana take the information and decide to go investigate. Meanwhile, Kentaros decides to challenge a dojo. And I believe the main person he challenges is actually his own suit actor. If I recall the trivia I saw. Yeah. If I recall the trivia I saw correctly, and if that is correct, that is Kentaros' suit actor that he challenged off the mat. But he proceeds to just beat him up, throws one guy out the window, and then he politely leaves after throwing a man out the window. We catch up with Ryutaro and Hana as they hit up the last person who hasn't been attacked, which was one of the 2 people in the finals. And the guy's being interviewed while they watch, but then they get spotted by a couple of the students at this dojo, and then they're brought forward, and with all the papers and stuff, they look suspicious. So these people decide to beat them up, and their specialty of, we're all gonna gang up on you. That doesn't feel like a specialty. That just feels like you being assholes.
Yeah.
So, at this point, Ryutaro tries to call in Momotaro's, but he can't because I forgot to. I put this in the notes. Oh yeah, they did. I just skipped over it because I think it only matters for literally this scene. But I guess mucking with time and taking things out of time can create anomalies in the void that can muck with shit, like the Deadliner going through a tunnel that makes it to where nobody can contact anyone. I assume. Because Hana tries to call the Deadliner when Momotaro's is asleep. And is like, you're in a train, you're in a tunnel. Oh no. So does that mean Momotaro's can't hop in if he's on the Deadliner when it's in a tunnel?
That's a good question. Because it could have just been because he was being lazy.
Fair. he got drunk on
coffee.
On Naomi's cream coffee, whatever it is. Okay, folks, if you're listening and you know what the fuck the recipe that Naomi uses for her coffee, do forward it to us on the Discord, because I would like to know what the fuck this is.
Yeah. Because, yeah.
So yeah, with no Momotaro's and no Utaro's, even though he could be just as useful for something like this, Utaro's on his own. So they try to attack him. He does yeet somebody up of some scaffolding, like way up some scaffolding, and everyone and Hana. I don't know why I said Hana. Wrong person. Wrong show.
Yeah.
I think Hana notes later is like, oh, that must be influenced from the Imagine. Well, it's a plot point for next week. Spoilers, it's a plot point for next week. But after that, they try to beat him up again, and then Hana's just like, fuck this. So she gets in there, starts throwing slaps and punches and kicks, and just fucking gets them out of there. And I think she gets a busted lip because of it, which, that's not the worst thing that happened to her, to be honest.
No.
In a situation like this. That could have ended far worse if they all decided to actually gang up on him.
Or, if they were halfway effective at ganging up on people.
That too. They unfortunately abided by action movie rules where only the person in the front can do anything. Everyone else has to just stand around and wait their turn.
Which, that's not really ganging up on people.
No. So after they run away, they end up running into Kentaros again. Momotaro's finally wakes up, possesses Ryutaro, wants to fight him. So Kentaros pops out, fights Deno. They end up fighting to a standstill, where Momotaros gets dunked out, and Ryutaro's left in platform. And Kentaros is like, I want to fight some more, and goes to fight, and then Hana just gets in between, like, no. And he's like, I will not fight, girl. Move. And she's like, no. But this is when the other Imagine shows up, and then tries to attack the guy that Kentaros has been possessing, because, by the way, he was also in the tournament. But Kentaro saves the guy. Ryutaro tags in Utaros, and they run the Imagine off into the river. And Kentaros just leaves with the guy he's got the contract with. And the Thinliner crew just regroups at the train, and that's our first episode. If it sounds like not a lot happened, spoilers, not a lot happens in these 4 episodes.
Well, especially this first one, because it was a lot of setup.
Mm-hmm. But that takes us to episode 10. Hana is a stormy singularity point. So back at the Thinliner, they regroup to try to figure out, well, what to do. We have 2 Imagin in play, and maybe one of them is the one attacking people, but we're not sure. But Ryutaro apparently has faith that Kentaros is not a bad guy, because I wonder if Ryutaros is like Intro, where he just has a really good read on people.
Probably.
Because it would not surprise me, because I'm like, well, you have extraordinarily bad luck, so you've probably had to deal with people a lot. I wonder if it's just a case that you are very good at reading people. Since, like, how much shit you have to go through on a daily basis. I will refuse to let that go, because the show has introduced the idea whether or not it's actually meant to be taken that way or not. But they decide to go investigate some more. They end up finding Kentaros after he saves some random girl in I think a parking lot structure from some mugger. And he does this by shaking the building so the mugger falls out of it so he can catch him and then throw him on the ground so the cops can arrest him. And I guess hope that he doesn't drag the girl with him.
Or, destroy the building.
That too.
Look,
once they run...
Look, he's got the same problem that, in all seriousness, most strong people in movies and TV shows have. The brains just aren't there.
like I said, there is exactly one brain cell on the Thinliner crew, and Hana has to share.
And sometimes she's stingy.
Yes. So they get to talking to Kentaros, and we find out that, he just wants to get stronger. He wants to make his karate stronger. And so he's helping this guy, because it's also helping him get stronger. After, is it revealed at this point his backstory or not? Because I might as well just talk about it anyway.
I think, but I can't swear to that.
Okay, so this guy and the other guy, who is also the contract holder of the other Imagin, we're in the finals of this karate tournament, and the guy that Kentaros is contracted with, I guess had a heart attack or something. Like, he just crumples over and just starts, like, grabbing his chest. So
I think the seed, or the translations that I was watching just said that he fainted.
He looks in pain.
Yeah. Not just fainted. So
it looks like he has pain in the chest, which is never a good sign. So
yeah, I feel like that might just be one of those. That's up for interpretation.
Yeah. But he fell over, and the other guy got the win by default, because, yeah, when you have chest pains, that usually means you're out of whatever thing you're doing at the moment. But he's been trying to recover since then, and the other guy is also feeling like, I didn't really win that. I want to actually win this. So the entire motivation is, these two people want to have their duel, and they weren't allowed because of chest problems from one of them. But after talking to the guy, they Oh yeah, the other Imagine just shows up for a literal half second to pester Momotaros into a fight and then just leaves. Because he's like, I don't want to fight you, bye. That feels like the most, like, this doesn't need to be here fight scene I've seen in Rider.
Fair, but at the same time, anytime that you can piss off Momotaros is kind of funny also.
Yes. But after this, they Momotaros heads to the dojo and then tags in Utaros to talk to this guy because Utaros is an actual people person. Sometimes. Other times, not so much.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But Hana follows Gintaros and talks to him. We find out that, again, Gintaros only wants to get stronger. He actually doesn't care about the whole destroy the future thing by mucking with time. He actually completely forgot about it. And I love that Hana's surprised about this. And I'm just like, okay, you have met two people who do not give a shit about that. Why are you surprised that more of them exist? Especially when this guy was like, oh, well, yeah, I forgot that was supposed to be your goal. Hana, you are the smartest person on this train. And yet somehow you were denied being Deno. Although, and okay, this is just on the Writer Wiki, on their Deno page. But apparently, according to a issue of Television magazine back in, I think it said 2006 on the citation, it said that Hana was Deno in an alternate timeline.
The little tidbits the show's pointing to, that kind of makes sense.
Right. I just don't know how valid it is because I tried to follow the citation and it went nowhere. And unless somebody has an actual copy of that magazine and can translate it, I don't know how valid that information is.
There's at least remnants of that in the show, so I could probably see that being the truth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, these 4 episodes actually even point a little harder towards that.
Yeah.
So
Granted,
I could see it.
Granted, I'm all for the idea of Hana gets to be a Deno writer of some kind. I almost wonder if maybe they were going to do that before Hana's actress had to leave the show, because I'll say this now, Hana's actress is not sticking around for the whole show. She had to leave the series partway through due to health issues. I believe specifically just overwork. So she ended up having to leave the show, and she got replaced by a small child version of herself, played by a different actress, who is also now retired. Or who is retired along with Hana's actress herself. So now both people who have played Hana are retired.
Well,
So I almost wonder if that was meant to be a thing, but the plans got changed because we had to replace Hana by a different actress who is small child, and we can't do that. I say knowing what I know about Deno in movies. In specials, so I know, I'm aware. We'll get there one day. But yeah, so again, folks, if you can validate that information in some capacity, I'd like to hear it and see if there's more to it than just this one credit on the Writer Wiki that, you know, they have on the main page, all the different people who are the writers and all that. There's just Writer Deno, Hana. But anyway, back in the episode, after getting talked to. The two guys end up meeting up, working out their issues, and like, we will duel when I guess you're better. But this is when the Imagine shows up, beats up the one guy, and is like, I've done the contract. I'm going back in time now. And so Kentaro sees this and talks to the guy. And at this point, Kentaro's went to this class of karate kids. It was going to teach him karate, except it was pointed out that he does sumo. And he was incredibly confused by that. And again, Hana acts surprised, and I'm like, again, Hana, you are the smartest person on this train. You should not be surprised.
Also, I kind of want to point out something that I feel like it's intentional because of the thing that Hana says about Imagine just try to haphazardly solve the contract swish.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's intentional.
Yeah.
But we barely have seen any Imagine actually finish a contract. They
I feel like the contract
halfway finish it, and then they're like, "Yep, it's done. Okay, I'm going."
I almost feel like the whole contract thing is just we need to stick around you long enough to learn something to know when to go back in time to.
I kind of feel like that would work better because, okay, yeah, he beat everyone up. Unless he killed them, they could get better and still win the tournament. Meaning he did not do it.
Yeah. Let's be honest, the contract is just arbitrary. It is just all right, we're on a ticking clock until the Imagine decides to go back in time at some point in this episode.
It's like, it's one of those, I kind of like the thought of, we're just going to let the Imagine do what they feel is significant to finish the contract, because that kind of shows how dumb most of the Imagine are.
Yeah. Yeah. But after Kentaro talks to this guy, he's like, all right, contract's complete. And he hops back through time to this guy. And Hana's also kind of mad at this. It's like, I knew he was... But when they scan the cards, it's the same date. Which, thankfully, they don't have to worry about the exact time they go back.
Yeah, seriously.
Because they only get the date.
Although, you bring up a very valid point there. Because, in theory, the way that the show works, if they screwed up and were like a couple hours late, that Imagine's done wreaked havoc.
Yeah. Maybe the time data is just not shown on the card, but it's imprinted in there when they use it to go back in time.
Maybe. Because, I mean, the other concept would be maybe they have a way of scanning, like, when within that day. But at that point, if you can do that, why can't you just scan when they went back, period?
Fair. Time travel is a very tricky thing, as we'll find out in the next couple episodes.
It's one of those, it's like,
But yeah, the Imagine goes back, starts wreaking havoc at the tournament. The Denliner crew arrive. Momotaros is fighting the guy. The two fighters end up getting almost killed by debris, only for Kentaros to show up and save them. And then he gets crushed by debris that apparently is killing him very slowly. Apparently he wasn't very sturdy.
Which is kind of funny considering his character.
Yes. So he starts disappearing. Hana's upset about this because all the good Imagine that doesn't piss me off on a regular basis. looking at the other two she has to deal with on a daily basis at the moment.
But that will change.
Yeah. But this makes her reveal that she's from a dead timeline where the Imagine destroyed the world. And because of her singular point status, or singularity point status, she survived it, but... Okay, is the show implying that she can't get back to that timeline, or they can't save that timeline anymore because of her singularity point status?
The way I kind of took it was because she's a singularity point, her true timeline is actually tied to the den liner, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And the timeline where she was is kind of ceases to exist.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's odd, but it kind of makes sense with the way the show's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a case of no matter what happens, she still exists just like she is, remembers everything that originally happened. But if one Imagine went back far enough to change it to where that timeline got destroyed for whatever reason, then that's enough to end it.
Yeah.
And I like that because that also puts this impending doom across the show at all times now.
Yeah. Yeah, we fuck up. We really fuck up.
Yeah. And I kind of like that, because then you have this quote-unquote big villain that technically could be any number of your smaller villains.
Mm-hmm. Which, honestly, that interpretation helps the thing with the end of this show, because I will say this now, we're not meeting our final bad guy until like the last 10 or 12 episodes.
I mean, that kind of works with the way the show's set up.
Yeah.
And honestly, just hearing that has to be 10 miles better than a vault.
I would say saying. Yes, but apparently he sucks. So...
Yeah, but the simple fact that we don't have to deal with him for literally the entire season.
True. Honestly, I kind of...
let that one sink in. We dealt with the vault the entire season.
Yeah, I honestly don't mind that, because I'm like, yeah, one Imagine doing enough damage kinda is terrifying enough as is.
Yeah.
And what I know about Deno's time travel that has yet to be revealed, I'm like, no, they are still causing damage. Very bad things are still happening even when we do solve problems.
That was what I was kind of like, wait a minute here. They're still at least doing property damage during all these fights, but then it just goes away because we beat the Imagine? Something don't sound right there.
Well, it's not just property damage, but I forget the exact episode it's introduced. I don't know if you want to hear it now.
We'll wait.
Okay.
But no, it's one of those, you saying that right there, I'm like, yeah, I think even for your definition of time travel show, we're still missing something here.
Yeah. I will say it is technically the logical part, or a logic of Deno's time travel that is technically used by several different movies that the Denliner crew show up in. And I think it's just the explanation for how we get out of our problem. I'm looking specifically at you, Let's Go, because you're the one who uses this exact thing I'm hinting at. Anyway. So, as this is happening, Ryutaro's like, what if you joined us? And everyone else is like, that seems dangerous. You having 3 Imagin. That might be a bad thing. But, oh well, he joins in. We get Deno axe form. He beats up the bad guys, does his dynamic chop, which he says the name afterwards. I love that Ryutaro's just like, oh, you say it afterwards. Okay. But it goes CG. We do the whole train kills it thing. The crew calls it a day, but owner explains more about Hana's backstory being singular point and her timeline thing. But he's also like, well, we got a new team member. Everybody gets pudding. Because that's a transition. So how'd you think about these 2 episodes?
I kind of feel like it was nice to have it as a different change for how to introduce one.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it's one of those you know where the end game is part of the way through the first episode.
Yeah, because we've all seen the yellow button. He's the yellow Imagin.
Well, I mean, even outside of that.
Yeah.
Good guy Imagin. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that that's going to partner up with our hero. I mean...
Is it weird that I wish this would happen more in current writer shows? Because now I feel like it's a case of we get the one good guy, like, monster of the week, and they are incredibly murdered by the end of the 1 or 2 episodes they're in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it happened to the one Royd Nude that was buddies with the one guy on the drive crew. It happened to Burgermon. Like, why can't we have good guy monsters of the week that just stick around? Because it's not like they have to be like powerful or anything, or they have to do anything. They could just be in the background every now and again. Which, now that I say that, Ghost did that twice and did nothing with them. I legitimately forgot about them until I was on that point.
True.
So I'm like, all right, they did that twice and they did nothing with them. So maybe not. Maybe I've just found the reason why. But
I kind of feel like I like this concept though, and I wish we could actually implement this going forward, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like maybe have it be some form of a way to have an upgrade or something. Which I know technically the different forms for Deno is not upgrades, but yeah.
No, we're in side grade territory. Deno technically only has like 2 proper upgrades. Well, 2 proper upgrades, and one of them has a variation.
But it would kind of be nice if we could do something similar to this in newer shows.
Yeah. Granted, I'm expecting the final form for Revice. Not the final episode form. No, the proper final form to be Revi and Vice fused together in its Revice.
Oh, it definitely will.
Unless they decide to do that sooner and then do something else for the final form.
Heck, that might actually be like mid-season, and then the final form be some kind of upgrade from that point.
Yeah.
As long as they don't pull a Geo and do a combination form as the mid-season and then say, oh, never mind that.
Yeah. It feels weird that both different ideas I thought they would do for Saber's final form, they ended up not doing. Well, the second one was partially true. Because first I was thinking, oh, his final form's going to be King Arthur, because duh. But that turned out to not be the case. Instead, we got King Arthur Robo, which was used for exactly one episode, and then the form itself had the relevance of every other side upgrade of Saber, which is none. But then I thought, oh, so all these swords have different elements and stuff. What if Saber got a new sword and it was metal element, because that's what all the swords are made of? Not like it's probably something specific to the universe, but you get what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he gets a new sword, but not that. Instead, it's a star sword that has all the other swords in it. That gives him a hand-painted suit that nobody likes to make toys of.
I mean, you did get one of the final forms completely correct, though.
Which one?
The final episode, final form. Because you completely called it.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Saber.
Why? Like, why can we not just...
Because we got a merchandise the last episode. Is what it is.
Except... Okay, this is the thing that, yes, you're completely right. This has been happening for a while. Before 01 even did it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't rebranded until now. But to me, I feel like that actually increases the hype for the base form then. By just letting the base form be what ends the final villain. Because then it's a case of, oh, they had this power all along, they just needed the right motivation. I don't feel like that makes the final villain look weak or anything like that. It's cinematic more than anything.
Yeah. I just feel it's unnecessary for us to have a toy to do that.
Yeah. And for it to be its own form.
Yeah. Just let it be Brave Dragon.
Yeah. If it wasn't considered its own form, I could even get behind 01 as far as realizing Hopper at the end kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because that fits with the show. The problem is it's its own form.
Yeah.
And it's considered final form. Thanks, guys. That's not needed.
Yeah, when 02 is the superior version of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's... That's the problem that I've got with that part of it. Because now that's exactly made like what has been said about Revise. We already know the final form. It's called the base form, renamed.
Yeah. Of course, I have to look at the Revise driver and go, okay, what stupid thing could you possibly repaint to put in this driver? Because, like, the slot for the turning of the genomes is not that big. So I don't know how big our major upgrades are going to be, especially since we haven't gotten anything on them information wise, because it's too soon for them.
Right.
But the extra thing is that little panel, that screen panel that you stamp the stamps onto, it's removable for some reason. I think it's like a little like not like a pin, but like something like that button that you press and the panel pops off.
They're not just going to do bigger panels, are they?
I don't know. Because the other thing is all the sounds and stuff are in the stamps.
Oh god,
like,
they might.
Yeah. With all the sounds and stuff in the stamp, like I don't think the driver has anything sound-wise. It has stuff color-wise, but it doesn't have anything sound-wise. So we are once more at a season where we can't figure out what's going to happen going forward, which I think they've pretty much negated any possibility of that since all the Wonder Ride books were RFID chipped. And no one tried to crack the code on them like they did the Wizard Driver. Which, I don't know, it might have been harder. I don't even know how the one guy cracked the Wizard Driver like he did. Because I think he had, like, it might have been an oscilloscope or, like, something to try to, like, replicate the RFID chips in those to get all the sounds out of it. But any other thoughts before we hit the second half?
Nah.
All right, then we kick off with episode 11, Madness, Dilution, and Baby's Breath. So a model's being interviewed when she gets a little bouquet of, I think, sakura flowers is what she said. And she sees Ryutaro walking by with an exact bouquet of these flowers. And for some reason, she thinks that must mean that he is the person that has been giving her these flowers for, I guess, her whole career as a model. I don't know why she would think that someone holding a bouquet of the same flowers she just received would be that person. But okay, sure. I guess this is how Ryutaro gets involved in this, or Ryutaro gets involved in this episode. So she tries to talk to him, and then her manager shows up. And then because of words said, Kentaros, who I guess is half asleep while listening to this, misunderstands words and then possesses Ryutaro and proceeds to throw her manager into a fucking building somewhere down the street.
Because this is how he gets roped into all of this.
Yeah. So, over at the Milk Dipper, Ryutaro fills in Hana on the whole situation and how he's now stuck helping this woman, or this girl. Because of Kentaro stealing this man into a building and not murdering him in the process somehow.
Yeah.
But he essentially gets hired as a bodyguard after meeting this girl at some signing thing or something and getting trampled by all her fans. But he gets hired. They find her clothes ripped, which, okay, is it just me or does it feels like that and the other thing are here for no reason because they are never brought up after?
Nope, not just you.
Okay, good. These two episodes feel really sloppy for some reason.
Yeah. And I feel like it's because of the fact that the Imagine plot could actually go into one episode, so they had to figure out how to pad it.
Yeah. But yeah, her clothes end up being ripped as they find out, so she has to get new clothes for this little runway show that's going on. But she does the runway thing, and then Kintaro's, I guess, hears something, then he drops in, and he's like, there's something under the stage, and proceeds to make a scene of ripping up the stage, only to find out, there's a rat under the stage that nobody noticed. Good job. Good job, Kintaro's. You're being bad at your job. So they end up going to a shoot later that day, and the lights go out, and when they come back on, her clothes are inked, as we find out that a rival of hers inked them with the spray gun full of ink. And that is the beginning and end of the plot line of her rival doing shit. Because she's not it.
Yeah.
But the Imagine then shows up and attacks Ryutaro and Momotaro's, who's possessing him, and leaves before Momotaro's can transform. Because fuck you, you get to do nothing these 2 episodes. But eventually they get another bouquet gets left to her, and we find out that they've been left to her every time she's needed like cheering up and extra motivation and stuff. So she really wants to find out who is it, and I think Ryutaro offhand mentions parents, and she's like, no. But she apparently had a falling out with her father. I will note here, folks, that she is 14 years old. I am noting this for a later plot point. That she is 14. She is child. She is legally a child. But we find out that the falling out happened because she wanted to stay helping him at the restaurant because her mom passed away at some point and her dad was still not in the best place about it, I guess. And she wanted to stay helping out, but he pushed her out so she could follow her dream. I will say this now, this was done on purpose on his account. That seems a bit extreme.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, it seems unnecessarily extreme to push out your 14-year-old daughter so she may follow her dream and ruin your relationship with her to do so. That's a bit extreme and unnecessary. But anyway, after this, the monster shows up. I think Momotaro's fights it for a bit, and then Kintaro's tags in and fights it and has it cornered, but then lets it go. And that's the end of the episode. Which takes us to episode 12, Run, Taros. But he lets it go so he can find out the terms of the contract, because essentially the dad's the contract holder. So Hana and Ryutaro meet with the dad. They kind of brushes it all off until Ryutaro says or mentions that he thinks he's the one giving all the flowers, and he just is like about it. So they leave. But we do see that he is the contract holder in the flashback that only we get to see to confirm that information. But the next day, she's leaving for Paris for a Paris collection fashion show thing. And then Ryutaro and Hana are following in Reporter Goon's car, when the Imagine attacks the car and everybody crashes and Kitaro tags in. But the Imagine runs away, I think. I'll be honest, I blanked out on this part. Because it is a very weird series of things to get to the point we're trying to get to in this episode.
Yeah.
Because it runs. Kentaros decides to prove that the dad is by trying to throw the car into the river while no one is in it for some reason. what was Kintaros' point?
I have no idea on that one.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one confused by what. How is you throwing Car in river going to prove anything?
Because initially, the way they did it, I was thinking it was a case of, okay, they're doing it this way to try to make the dad come and be like, no, stop, don't do that, my daughter's in there. And then he just throws it in anyhow, and the dad's just like, oh.
The dad shows up after it gets thrown in the river, though.
Yeah, but they cut to him driving down the road towards them. Well, it's like, okay, I see the thing you wanted to try to do, but why did we go the opposite direction here?
Yeah. But anyway, we find out that he did all this on purpose because he wanted her to follow her dream, and she wouldn't do it unless he just ruined his relationship with her, which again seems really extreme and stupid. Like, the fuck, sir? Maybe don't do this. Maybe just support her and tell her, hey, go follow your dream. I'll be okay. Maybe talk things out with her instead of doing something incredibly stupid and damaging to your relationship. But apparently the Imagine latched on to the singular idea he had when the Imagine possessed him of he wants to see his daughter again. And the Imagine went, I'm gonna do that by ruining her career, because I guess like we brought up, the Imagine are just gonna do whatever the fuck they want to get the contract. It's not like these have actual terms attached to them. But this whole situation completes the contract, so the Imagine goes back in time. They go back, but Kintaros is possessing Ryutaro and decides, you know what I need to do first before fighting the Imagine? I need to go try to repair this daughter's relationship with her father, altering the timeline while letting the monster destroy the town. And he destroys part of the town too, trying to get to her. Okay, Kintaros, I get your sentiment and your feelings, but there are more important things at the moment. What the fuck? I mean, besides the fact that you were trying to alter the timeline in a very specific way that might not be good. But anyway, he runs to the bus that she was on, tells her to believe in her dad before going to fight the Imagine, fights it, dynamic chop. But because of this this really stupid thing, owner's like, I'm banishing you with my card. And Kintaros is like, okay. So when they're done, he's ready to banish them, except the Denliner goes to the hotel that this girl was at the start of the episode and shows her talking to her dad, because Kintaro's talking to her made her try to go find her dad and find out that he was the one giving the flowers to her at the start of the episode, meaning that because of that, now nothing we've seen in these last two episodes happened. But in order for them to happen, she had to not have that good relationship with her dad. Thus, we've created a time paradox.
Yep.
Oops.
Yep.
But I do like that the show acknowledges that we fucked time and did a paradox, because Oda straight up goes, never do it again. Don't. You have fucked with time. You got away with it once. Never again.
Yeah.
Thank you, show, for acknowledging we created a time paradox.
Yeah, I love the show has done that. But you know, as pointed out in, Avengers Endgame, when you mess with time, time tends to mess back with you. So I have a funny feeling that's not going to be the last we're going to see the kind of repercussions from that one.
I will say this right now, the fallout of the movie is all about exactly this kind of fucking with time, biting everyone in the ass.
Yeah.
And how we solve it.
Yeah. Completely can get that one.
Because we have to pull a really dumb move to save the day in the movie, and oh no, that wasn't consequences free. Yeah, that is our 4 episodes. How'd you feel about the second half?
I feel like it could have been a lot, it condensed a lot down.
Yeah, this is the first time for Dino. I'm like, this could have been 1 episode. This did not need to be 2 episodes. If I'm being honest.
It's that flaw that we noticed, I think, even in Wizard, of the 2 episode arcs. Where it's just one of those cases where, yeah, it don't always work.
Yeah. But, like, I didn't hate it. So.
No, I didn't hate it either. It's just, out of the 3 batches, yeah. This last 2-parter is kind of the problem out of it so far, because it's like, yeah, we padded a little too much already. That's not good. But I'm not upset with the episodes by no means.
Mm-hmm. It's a decent batch of 4. Not the best batch of 4, but hey, it's better than some writer I've seen recently. So we're going in the right direction.
Fair.
But next week, we get the last of our Imagine introductions because we get Ryuteros. I'm just going to say his name right now. It is Ryuteros. That is why I keep going back and forth between Ryutaro and Ryutaro. Because, yeah, that's why. I hope you're ready for me to flub that so much. Because I'm gonna mix up their names. Because I believe they're technically spelled the exact same. Which means I probably need to come up with a name for Ryutaros, and I am very much willing to call him Goblin Child for the entire series, because he is a Goblin Child.
I mean, fair.
Yeah. But between now and then, we've got more Great Ace Attorney on Thursday, us continuing Forza Wars Adventure on Friday. Saturday will be the podcast where we get to talk about some Gamescom stuff. If there is anything to talk about from Gamescom, since I don't think anything majors came out of Gamescom. So it might be a slow week. Although, supposedly, because of precedent, we may be getting a Nintendo Direct at some point within the next couple weeks. Because there's always been a Nintendo Direct in September. Like, I will double check the list. Let's see, we had 3 directs in September last year. We had a mini partner showcase, a Monster Hunter Direct, and a 35th anniversary Mario Brothers Direct. You had a proper Direct and the Banjo-Kazooie showcase the year before, and the proper Nintendo Direct the year before. and a proper Direct the year before, and the 3DS Direct the year before, and 2015 would be the year they skipped. Except 2014 had a Nintendo and a Nintendo 3DS Direct. So you get the idea. And these are all beginning to mid of September, for the most part. So don't be surprised we get a 24-hour notice on a Direct within the next week. if not 2 weeks. Since they like to give us 24 hours notice on them. Nintendo, I would like more than 24 hours notice on a Direct, please. Please. Please, I'm begging you. But anything else?
No.
All right, then. If you like what you see, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. At Teach You Soon on Twitter. Get see updates in real life. Next mission point, Discord and chat. Get to Discord link. Drop by. Say hi. See you Thursday, folks.